We're getting out of hip hop. We're done with hip hop now. We're finished. We're getting into the real world, people. All right. And my real world is conspiracy theories. All right, people. This is the era of conspiracy theories being proven right, and I'm here for it. I'm upset about it. I'm angry about it, and I trust no one. But I'm here for it. I love when my paranoid delusions turn out to be correct. And today we were talking about the Epstein files, everyone's favorite paranoid delusion that became reality. Incredible, incredible thing that's happening right now. I mean, I feel like a lot of the people who have been the elites that have been expecting this stuff to just go away from the moment it came out. From the moment Jeffrey Epstein got arrested for the second time and it became publicity, they thought they could just push it away. Then he passed away, right? Surprisingly, on his own terms, apparently, right? And they thought that could just make it go away. Then every time it would come up, they'd be dismissive of it. Then the right started using it as a way to get their people elected. These people used it as a weapon against the left, making it a partisan issue, which it's not. It is a bipartisan issue. There are plenty of liberals in there that are disgusting PDF individuals, and there are tons and tons of right-wing individuals who are disgusting PDF individuals. Both need to go, both sides. It is not about whether you are fiscally conservative or if you are a blue-haired liberal. If you are talking to a child and getting them onto an island or doing anything with them, you need to go. And I feel like the American public has a pretty solid consensus on this, and I'm proud of us. Listen, there's always going to be the MAGA cult people that are in it to win it. Their heels are dug in, right? But I am proud of us normal people out there who are not letting this go. We've all seen the whole Pam Bondi hearing that is happening, which is just laughable. She's clearly not answering stuff. She's not answering anything. She's not answering any questions about anything. But what I really want to talk about is, of course, Joe Rogan and his refusal to be honest about his friends and the people he's been platforming and how he's been trying to act like he goes against the deep state, but he is, in fact, the deep state himself. It's crazy. And the fact that Joe Rogan has had a lot of the people on that have been to this island and have spent so much time with Jeffrey Epstein is truly, truly sad and just ridiculous.
His name redacted. Why would your name be redacted if you're not a victim? Like, this is
because he's one of the perpetrators and they are protecting a very powerful person. You know this.
What's crazy about all this. Like, how come you redact some people and you don't redact other people? Like, what is this? This is not good. None of this.
It's not good, but if we want to get the redacted people, we could just have on half of the past guests you've had on your podcast in the last few months, right? We just go through that list. That list is essentially the Epstein list.
Good for this administration. It looks fucking terrible. It looks terrible.
Yes, it does. You know, this whole thing, what's crazy is, obviously Joe Rogan is dealing with all this stuff, but I feel like it's kind of split the MAGA Rogansphere, right? You have Andrew Schultz, who is openly denouncing all this stuff right now because I think he sees the tide turning. Same thing with Tim Dillon. Again, it's not necessarily because of anything specific. I don't think it's because they're fully against the Epstein files or against ICE or anything like that. They don't care, but they know that optically, visually, all these things are very, very unappealing to the moderate person. And the moderate person is actually the majority of humanity, right? So that is going to destroy their viewership if they're sitting here cheering on all these evil, evil people. So they buckled. Thank God they did. Hopefully some people come with them to the other side. Joe Rogan, though, is like a 2-year-old kicking and screaming. And a couple of his other friends are the same way. Brian Callen on The Fighter and the Kid. Brian Callen has had a notoriously awful take when it comes to this whole Epstein thing. He has been defending Trump, Epstein, anyone that's in the files. You know, one thing that I've noticed that these guys have been really doing now is instead of pretending like no one was in the files. They're kind of just being like, oh, it's just guys being guys. And it's like, I don't know any guys that want to hang out with a bunch of 15-year-olds when they are 65. I'll tell you that right now. Those aren't my guys. Those aren't the guys that I like. Okay? That's sounds like the weirdest Super Bowl party I ever been to. Let me tell you that much. It's not a man cave you want to be in. Not a man cave you want to be in. But these guys don't seem to really care, and they make excuses over and over for these vile human beings. Here is another excuse that Brendan Schaub is making to Brian Callen, surprisingly, which sucks because in the earlier episode before this one that Podcast Cringe is documenting, Brendan Schaub actually had a moment of clarity and was just hard stop, all this stuff is wrong. But here he is trying to shoehorn in how Donald Trump might be the good guy. So let's go for that.
But then they also played him. Like Elon Musk and Trump are playing checkers while everybody else is playing chess.
What do you mean?
Oh, because remember we thought there was a feud between them. Elon goes, Trump's in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
You need to release him.
Yeah.
And Donald's like, no, I'm not going to release him. Actually, I am. Check it out. The only thing the Epstein files about Trump is him reporting him to the police. And you know what's even more hilarious? ABC, CNN, NBC all had to report that yesterday.
Yeah, so that's not fully true at all. I mean, they've mentioned Donald Trump multiple times in the Epstein files that have had nothing to do with the police. But that being said, this is something that has been known, and CoffeeZilla actually talked about in one of his latest videos about Trump calling the police. This is absolutely true. What Brandon Schaub did say is true. He did call the police or contact the police in some sense. What he didn't, disclose or what Brendan might not know is this happened after Jeffrey Epstein had been exposed, on television. So if Donald Trump had been doing bad stuff with him, right, in the dark, and then seen that this whole thing is blown up, it would make sense that he would sit around and pretend like, oh, that guy's nuts. You got to go get that guy, right? Just to throw a little bit of the scent off of his trail. Something would tell me that as soon as Epstein got arrested, he was probably burning quite a few files himself. But yeah, let's hear CoffeeZilla talk about this.
Worthy is that Trump called the Palm Beach Police Department immediately after Epstein was arrested, according to a police chief that was interviewed in 2019. Yeah. He says back when he arrested Epstein the first time, Trump called him and said, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. Saying about Maxwell, she's evil, and to focus on her, according to the police chief, Trump was one of the first people to call. Julie K. Brown said that when Trump called the chief, it was after the Epstein story became public when Epstein was arrested. This actually goes a long way to...
Yeah, and so that's really what it is. It's like a lot of conservative people are trying to flip it as if like he reported him like, hey, I'm seeing all this weird stuff. You should go check this guy out. No, he already got arrested for the weird shit, and you had already hung out with him for years and years to date. And then when he got exposed for it, you and your little friends decided to call the cops and be like, yeah, you should totally get him. I don't even know what's up with that guy. Listen, we're all human beings. We've all been in trouble. Most of us have never been invited to a secretive PDF island to do all sorts of unsavory things. But, we've stolen a chocolate bar or two, or, smoked a little weed when we were 15, right, and got in trouble with our parents. And, a lot of times when you're desperate, you're looking for somebody to blame. It was mine. He gave it to me. You make up a name. Frankie gave it to me. Frankie Foskey. You make up like a weird last name. I remember that was the weird last name I made up when I got in trouble one time. I think I can't even remember if it was like weed or like booze, but my mom or like my uncle like found something in my jacket pocket from after school, and I got in trouble. And the whole time, like the next day, I was trying to think of what my story would be. I forget why they didn't approach me that night, but the next day I was thinking like, I'm gonna get in trouble when I get home. What is my story? And I made up a name with all my friends. We like brainstormed. We've created a think tank of fuckery, right? We created a fuckboy think tank, and we came up with that fake name and like a story of how he gave it to me and all this type of shit. This is what Trump is doing. And now the conservatives are dumb enough to actually buy it and try to sell this to everybody else. And hopefully the rest of us are not this stupid. It really is blowing my mind, the amount of disrespect these politicians seem to have for the American people, whether conservative or liberal, right? It really is. It just goes to show you that there isn't really conservative or liberal at the end of the day. It is us and them, right? And the rest is all labels that we use to divide ourselves, and they use against us to divide ourselves. And it's just a shame. Like, this whole CoffeeZilla video is called, "Is this a joke to them?" And I have to say, I've been asking myself the same exact question. They do not seem to care. Pam Bondi does not seem to care. Kash Patel does not seem to care. And it's truly disgusting. But we move on. We move on. Today, I want to talk about something very important. I want to talk about the youth.